Good morning to all the Good morning to all the participants. We, the Regional Centre Mumbai, today is organizing this webinar on 5 myths of happiness. Dear participants, as we all are aware that right now our country is going through a pitiful situation, and it is very necessary to have a positive approach. Generally, happiness, which we say, sorry, happiness which we define, if we search for a definition of happiness, it generally means to have positive approach for joyful life. And taking the current situation in preview, Regional Center Mumbai is organizing this webinar. The lecture will be delivered by Dr. Ashish Ambasta sir, who is also known as happiness expert. Sir is founder and CEO of HappyPlus organization. I also welcome directors and staff of schools, divisions, and cells of Indira Gandhi National Open University, and the regional directors, assistant regional directors, and other staff of other regional centers of India. Further, I also welcome the coordinators, assistant coordinators, and other staff of LSCs at Regional Center Mumbai and other LSCs across India. I also welcome the regional director and
Hello.
assistant regional director of Regional Center Mumbai.
Let speaking person appear on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Let speaking person appear on the screen. We are not
Yes,
seeing the
sir.
person who is speaking.
Sure, sir. So I now request our regional director, Dr. E. Krishna Rao, sir, for his initial remarks and welcome the guest.
Okay, thank you. Um, Regional directors from the different regional centers across the country, other academics at the regional center, study center coordinators, today's speaker, Dr. Ashish, and my dear learners, I welcome you all for this today's online lecture on 5 myths of happiness. As you are all aware, Regional Center Mumbai is taking several initiatives regarding student support services. At the same time, to motivate the students in this critical situation, as per the directions of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, even in the last Facebook live session of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, he has suggested all the regional centers should motivate and give the clarity on this type of the situations to the students because of, as you are all aware, our country is under a lot of pressure due to this COVID-19 situation. There we thought experts like Dr. Ashish will give useful lecture and that will motivate all the people to encounter or to face this type of critical situation. I am very happy to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Ashish, known as happiness expert in India. He is the founder and CEO at HappyPlus. After working in different firms, including Indian conglomerates, renowned consultant firm, and completion of his doctorate in particularly the field of this happiness at the workplace. He has turned his attention into pursuing life mission of reducing suffering and increase happiness of those he touch to the next level by making people aware of happiness as something worth pursuing. He also handhold them in this journey. In workplace context, about ensuring people deliver world-class performance, and feel happy about them. He is a firm believer of positive psychology and strength philosophy, which drives his approach towards work and life. He also founded CSE Talks to showcase the immense level of positivity and achievement of those features to bring everybody's attention to the good work happening in society and how everyone can contribute in our own way to make the world beautiful. He is particularly specialized in the positive psychology, happiness and well-being, behavioral economics, strengths-based interventions, culture, consulting, and solution architecture. And for his credit, he has delivered a good number of lectures on national and international platforms, and particularly in this field, he has published good number of research articles in the national and international journals. I feel proud to introduce such a great, renowned speaker in this particular occasion, and also we are very happy, sir, and thank you for accepting our invitation and agreed to deliver the lecture today to our IGNOU fraternity, particularly in this critical situation where our students are the distance learners, where they need this type of motivational talks which encourages them and further useful to strengthen in their studies and make happy life. I hope this lecture will add value to the our students as well as our faculty and the regional directors, assistant regional directors at the regional center level. I once again welcome you all, my IGNOU fraternity, for this online lecture by Dr. Ashish. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, sir. And now I request Dr. Ashish Ambasta, sir, for delivering his lecture. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And first of all, thank you very much from bottom of my heart. I feel very excited, very happy, and very proud to be amongst you. For me, anybody who is part of education deserves the, you know, biggest respect from my side, because these are the people who are creating a new generation of people who can think, who can bring change in their own ways. So it's a great opportunity for me, and I must thank RC Mumbai and Director Sir to give us an opportunity to come and share some of these elements about happiness, which we tend to forget. Okay, and what I'm going to do is to bring you back to basics. I'm not going to talk about a lot of research and scientific papers here, but whatever I will say will be rooted into science. It will be rooted into what experiments have been done across the industries and what we have learned as far as the science of happiness is concerned. Let me first differentiate between what is science of happiness or what is positive psychology. Some of you know this, but I just wanted to clarify this. So what happens when you have got mental sickness? So when you have got a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, then you seek help from counselors, psychologists, and therapists. So what they do is they take care of your mental, situation and work with you and bring you to what is called a person who is a normal person, right? But we all assume that a normal person is also a happy person, which is not the case. So the way you will take a journey from being, somebody who is mentally sick to become normal, there also needs to be a journey which needs to be taken from being normal to being happier. And this part of the science is called positive psychology. So I am an expert in positive psychology, having done my PhD in this area. I am basically a physics graduate, and after that I did my MBA, and I spent around 20 years with most renowned companies in consulting across the world. And one of the things which caught my attention was this concept of flow. So the concept of flow is where you know what your talents are and you are challenged every day to use that challenge to solve a problem. And when you are in flow, you forget time. You don't remember anything because you really want to immerse in the work which you have. Unfortunately, most of us coming to work don't experience flow. Okay, either our talent is not aligned to what we are doing, or we are not challenged enough. And that's why Gallup, one of my previous employers, told us, and they keep coming out with this research, very interesting research, that what percentage of people coming to work are happy. And their research tells us that only 23% people coming to work are considered to be in engaged category. But if you take the highest level of engagement, it's only 11 to 12% people. So that means around 88% people who are coming to work aren't very happy with what they do. And two-thirds of your waking hours you spend at work. And just imagine doing something day in and day out, which you don't love doing, and spending your life like that. So Martin Seligman, who is a chief scientist around happiness, he calls this life as a struggling life. In this life, you don't have much excitement and you don't have much happiness. But on the opposite of it is what is called somebody with a thriving life. So in thriving life, you have got flow, you know your strengths, your achievements are high, your relationships are good, you take care of your physical health, you take care of your social health, and you lead a life in which it should be led, the way it should be led. And that's what is thriving life is all about. In today's lecture, I am going to take you through some of these elements of what makes a thriving life and why only some of us are able to pursue this. And I will also tell you that what are some of the myths which is surrounded by us and what is, deep rooted thoughts and beliefs in our mind, which makes us go away from happiness. And if we understand these biases well, then we will be in a position to pursue life in a way in which we should be pursued. So that's the context of my session, and I am going to present my slide, and I will start from there. I hope you can see my slide now. You can just let me
Yes,
know.
sir.
Good. So imagine there is a genie who comes in front of you, and the genie asks you, I am going to fulfill any wish you have, right? Tell me, what do you want? And a lot of people, this is an experiment, it's a scientific experiment done, where people went out and asked thousands of people that if a genie comes in front of you and asks you to ask for one wish, what would you ask? A lot of people asked for a lot of money. Some people asked for a big house, big car. Somebody asked about not dying as a wish. Somebody asked for great health, and stuff like that. What was surprising, since it was an experiment done on positive psychology, what was surprising that very few percentage of people actually asked for happiness. And even if you have a great house, but if you are not happy, the house does not make any sense to you. If you have a great amount of money, and if you don't have a good health and you are unhappy, that money doesn't make any sense to you. If you have, if you are being alive for 200 years or 300 years, but you are losing all the nears and dear one, and you are not going to be happy anyway. So it was very surprising for the researchers that why people were not prioritizing happiness. And a twist in this experiment, when they brought in what they said, that they now, instead of making it open-ended, they made it close-ended as options. And in one of the options, they said, I will ask Ginny to make me happy perpetually. And when that option was brought in, a significant change came in, and now 80% people said we want happiness, because at the end of the day, whatever we have, if you are not happy, it does not make sense. So what the researchers found out, that while happiness is important for all of us, but it's not our priority. And the question which they probed deeper was that why we don't put this as priority for us. And they found that one of the things which is very critical in ensuring this is that people don't understand happiness properly. They also feel being happy equates to having fun all the time. So, like, if I ask you to imagine the face of a happy person, you will realize that the person is always being smiling, in good mood, and will feel happy all the time. But in reality, it is not the case. I'm an happiness expert, but I also feel sad sometimes. I also feel anxious sometimes. I also feel stressed sometimes. But then question is not about absence of negative emotion does not make you happy, and you cannot be happier all the time. So that's one of the things which people believe. Then they also feel that being happy makes you content and lazy, especially at workplaces. The word happiness is not being used quite often, because you will understand managers telling you, or you will hear managers telling you, you are not here to be happy, you are here to do your work. So being happy is equated with somebody who is not putting his hard work, is somebody who is lazy and very contented. And then, even if I know what is happiness, then is there a formula? I don't know, and that's why it does not remain our priority. So these are some of the reasons why, despite happiness being so important for us, is never a priority for individuals who come to this world, especially at workplaces. So question is that how I'm supposed to do this? How I'm supposed to be happier? Isn't it very surprising that at one hand I am saying that happiness is important, but on the other hand, I also am not prioritizing it. I don't care that whether I am happy, because I am always, if the genie is asking me something, I am asking everything else apart from being happy. So for me, there are 5 things which makes us move away from happiness. And these are the 5 things which most of the people ask the genie. So they said money. And a very interesting thing I will tell you about money, that people who say money is not important for happiness aren't telling you the truth. Money is definitely important for happiness. Money is the way in which happiness can be pursued. But then it is only till an extent. When you are poor, then a little money can boost your happiness. But when you cross a threshold, and when you have a minimum amount of money you are earning, then pursuing money does not give you the same level of increased happiness when it used to give when you were not having a lot of money. So money is important, but people get addicted to money, and then they believe that money can buy them everything, and only to realize that after spending entire life and amassing a lot of money, they realize that money is of no use because it does not give you happiness. People spoke about power. People felt that if you are very powerful, you will be happier. But that wasn't the case, because with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility and accountability, and you become even more conscious than what you were without power. So again, that's not something which people makes people happier. People feel that fame, success brings a lot of happiness, but you would have heard a lot of movie stars are depressed. A lot of people who have got we thought are successful are jumping over the bridge and committing suicide. A lot of businessmen who have a lot of money, but they aren't happier. They are getting divorces. The family life has gone for a toss. So again, that's not something which brings you happiness. And then a lot of us indulge into pleasures, right? Anything which our senses or is applied in getting that feeling of happiness, and anything which money can buy is something which gives us pleasure. And pleasures again. The equation is that if you are too much into pleasures, then after a point of time you get addicted to it, and it ceases to give you enough kick as far as your happiness is concerned. But if you are following then at the end of this pursuit, you realize that you might be successful for the world, but you are empty inside. You don't feel happy despite having everything. And pursuits of passions and pleasures are like running on a treadmill. You think you are running, but don't reach anywhere. And everything looks meaningless. And despite everything you have, what researchers call is struggling life. So a lot of us are leading struggling life. Again, another research by Martin Seligman tells us that only 17% people worldwide are having what is called thriving life. Rest 83% people are struggling in their life. On the other hand, there was a meta-analysis done on happiness, 225 studies on happiness, on the benefit of happiness, and they realized that happy people are more productive at work, they are more creative, uh, they are better negotiators, they are more likely to marry and to have fulfilling marriages. They are the people who will have more friends and social support, have stronger immune system and physically healthier, are more helpful and philanthropic, and cope better with stress. Being happy brings a lot of benefits to you. On the other hand, what we are seeing is that stress and negativity are a silent killer. Stress along with negativity can be one of the most daunting and dangerous obstacle. Every year, we are losing work worth $1 trillion every year, which is related to workplace anxiety and depression. So it's a real problem. On one hand, happiness is important, but on the other hand, we have got huge level of stress and anxiety, and we need to understand why this is happening to us. One of the things which we believe, and we always do, is a level of comparisons. We believe that whatever we have might not be the best thing, and what others have. There is a proverb called "grass is greener on the other side," and believe it or not, it reduces our happiness. We always believe that we are not happy as much as money we are getting, but we become very sad by knowing what my colleague is getting or what's the increment somebody else is getting. So the fact that as human being we are always comparing ourselves, be it our status, be it our looks, be it the mobile phones we are using, be it the jobs we are in, with the number of friends we have, the number of cars we have, or the location where we stay, or the education where we are, institute where we are studying. Most of the time there is an external comparison, and that brings down a lot of happiness for us, because you will always have, if you have an external locus of control, then you will always find somebody who is far better than you, and that's where the negative emotion will exist for a long period of time. Second is, I also know that a lot of people buy things or pursue activities to show off. In the pandemic, what I have seen that there is a bunch of people who go to give food to poor people, but their intention is more to click photographs and put that on social media and present a picture that how noble they are, how noble their thoughts are, and the intention is to show off things or show off activities, or present a picture of yourself in which you feel you are much better or elevated than what you actually are. And showing off may mean that it gives you pleasure for that point of time, but in reality there is hardly anybody who is bothered. If I am driving a Bugatti, uh, it doesn't matter to the person standing and running his shop. He doesn't get excited by this. Even if he is excited, he may be jealous more than being wowed by you. But unfortunately, the myth of looking good and being better off than everybody else around you actually brings a lot of happiness, takes a lot of happiness away from us. So that's the second thing which we should be really aware of. Third is, at workplaces, we all are chasing superiority. We want to demonstrate that how I am bigger and better than you. The ego allows us to talk to some people and allows us not to talk to some people. And most of the time, we would like to prove a point to somebody else by saying or showing that how I am better and bigger than you. Uh, you know, the question of trying to do something which makes you happier does not come easily to people. And they always feel that if you are at a higher position, you are earning more money, then the intention is that if you are at that point, you will be far more happy than what you are, and that's why they chase superiority. But it takes a lot of effort, and also if you don't enjoy what you are doing and you just chase, being better and bigger than everybody else, then at the end of the day you realize that all this superiority is of no use, and you are unhappy from bottom of your heart. Fourth thing I will talk about, why we get angry. We get angry because either we feel being controlled by others, or we want to control others, but we are not in a position to control others. And that's why we always tend to feel little, angry, frustrated, and we also believe that, we can make a difference to all of things, but it is not. Since it is a lot of things are not in control, we get very frustrated. I will talk about what's the opposite of controlling others and controlling situations. But at the point, I just wanted to mention that a false sense of control is another thing which takes away a lot of happiness from others. Last but not the least is the finding faults in everything in life. I have known people who, if you submit a great work to them and there will be 99% things which are perfect, they will still find one thing which you would have missed, and will make you feel very miserable. But there is a way in which you present things, and also look at things which the other person is bringing is very unique to that person. But we have all got a PhD in finding faults in everything, every aspect of life. And what happens when you are finding faults and you are being little negative? You are, chasing negativity in everything. So whatever good is happening might miss out. You may miss out, and you can just focus on what is not working in your life also. So you develop a mindset which makes you negative, and negativity is something which is far away from what happy people have, and that's why this is the fifth thing you should be looking after. Question is, how do you work around this? What is the way in which we can help change and be happier than what we are right now? For that, we need to be very clear that what is happiness and what happiness is not. Absence of negative emotion does not make you happier. Something which makes you smile always is not happiness. You cannot be happy all the time. Something which is permanent. Happiness is also cyclic. Sometimes you will be happy, sometimes you will be normal, sometimes you'll be sad. It's absolutely perfect. Some happiness is not which is fixed, or happiness is also not something which can't be pursued. In fact, the science around happiness in last 10, 15 years has become so evolved that we have created habits, we have created rituals, we have created apps. In fact, HappyPlus has created an app which asks you to do something, and every time you do it, you can experience positive emotions. So a lot of things are being done there. What happiness is, in a day you will have a lot of positive emotions and you will also have a lot of negative emotions. So your net positive emotion in the day and in the week and in the life overall is what is defined as your happiness. It's not about a situation or an event. When I get money, I'll be happy, or when I get my promotion, I will be happy. When I will get a big house, I will be happy. It's not about that. It's the attitude towards a situation and event. So it's about the mindset. I might be staying in a small house, but if I have satisfaction, acceptance, and dream to make my house bigger, I will be happier than somebody who is staying in a mansion but is very, very unhappy. Happiness is also the feeling that life is great and motivates you to do more. It's a feeling which is different for different people, and that's why in scientific, world, we don't talk about happiness. We talk about subjective well-being, and subjective well-being means that for different people, the definition of happiness can be different. For somebody, it's sitting in a beach and reading a book. For somebody, it's teaching in a class, or for somebody, meeting with friends can be very, can give them a lot of happiness. And for somebody, it's like doing charity. So we cannot straight jacket and say that this is happiness for everyone, and that's the thing which you should be very clear about. Now, I'm giving you a happiness formula, which is being created by a lady called Shunja Lombowski. What she says is that there is a set point. So genetically, you have a set point called genetic set point, which comes from your mom, dad, and the generation which you come. It determines 50% of your happiness. The 10% of your happiness is outside you. That, like your money, how much money you have got, how do you look, what's your marriage looks like, which house you stay, what's your social status. So this is all 10%. And the intentional activity, something which you can do, your thoughts, actions, and relationships, determines 40% of your happiness. You would see some people are basically negative people. So their set points, say for example, if it is a set point of 1 to 100, they are born at 30. So even if the best of the things happens to them, they can go to 50 or 60. But then you will have few people whose set point is at 60, 65, or 70 already. And if you do something, then it will go out to 80 or 90. So sometimes we get surprised that why, if despite having everything, this person is not happy, because genetically that's how the person is set for. What we need to focus is on the 40% of our, action, things, the way we think, the way we consume news, the way we do things in our relationships, relationships with self, relationships with others, and relationships with the entire world actually makes a difference to our happiness. We have gifted with 5 tabs, and these 5 tabs are each one of them can give us happiness. So it's about pleasant life, where whatever you have, which money can buy, your comforts, your good food, good movie, good books, all these things comes in pleasant life. But then the second type of happiness which comes from your work. So the life of flow is doing anything which you really are excited about doing, and you forget time when you do it. For me, sitting in this lecture and talking to you, all of you, is an experience like this, because I've forgotten about time, I have forgotten about what's happening around me, but I'm too immersed in my work, and I think I'm deriving my happiness by being part of this lecture. Then you have got life of relationships, and one of the largest study and the longest study on happiness done by Harvard Business School told us that one of the most important thing which is present in all happy people is the level of relationships they have in their life. They have somebody in their life whom they can call at 2 o'clock in the night, and the other person will not complain, and even talk about talk to them in the same manner, and they can be very proud of that. And if you don't have good relationship, then that means that tap is closed, and you go back to your pleasant life and say, let me buy more money in the hope that I will be happier. The fourth tap is life of achievements. If you don't set goals, if you don't achieve them, whether it is short-term goals or a medium-term goal or a long-term goal, you won't be happy. Even in the times of corona, I think if we have set a goal for ourselves that we have to get up early in the morning, our food should be taken, the food we should take should be healthy, a little movement here and there should also be done. If we are able to finish this, you will open a tap of your happiness, which will come from life of achievement. And then there is life of meaning. It's about knowing what you are good at and using your strength to make a difference in lives of others. And that's where a lot of people do charity. A lot of people go out their way to help somebody else, and they work towards sustainability of the earth. Doing something about education, poverty, and a lot of things. And even in Corona times, I have seen that a lot of people have gone out of their way to bring a change in the lives of others. There is a rickshawala in Bhopal who converted his auto into an ambulance. There is a couple in Mumbai who sold all their assets to buy oxygen cylinders for people who needed it. I have seen young people, marrying in a way in which they don't spend any money, but with that money they are creating hospital beds. So a lot of people are doing good things, and this gives them some meaningfulness, and that meaningfulness is also a source of happiness for them. I will talk about Wow Life framework in a very quick manner. That if you look at your happiness and thriving life, there are 6 dimensions which you should look at. In your being, you need to take care of your physical health, and you also need to look at your social health and spiritual health. Because if you're not taking care of you yourself as a person, it will, the happiness will come down. Then in achievement, you should have goals and success. In relationship, you should have love and trust. In work life, you should know what your strengths are. You should know your talent and get into flow. In the meaning, it should be about your purpose and meaning. And time scale is how you think about present, future, and past. So if you are worried too much about present, that means you don't have time to savor good things about you around you. You are not mindful, and you don't have gratitude, because today you have an opportunity to come and sit and listen to this lecture. There are millions of people who even want to do this, they won't be able to do it. They will not have internet connections, they will not have laptop, they won't have time. But you are able to do this, and that's why you should be present and feel gratitude about whatever is happening. Similarly, in future, if you're always anxious and worried about what's going to happen, then you would not be able to spend your time properly, and you need to be optimistic and hopeful instead of anxious and worried. In past, a lot of people carry their past with themselves. Somebody has shouted at me, and I will keep that anger with me throughout my life, my humiliation. And instead of making that as a burden of your mind, you should be working around remembrance and forgiveness, because forgiveness is one of the most important element which brings happiness to people. So I think if you look at this framework, and I will share this framework with RC Mumbai. If you want to keep this as a reminder, you can do that. But if you are able to take care of all these 6 elements in your life, you will definitely have what is called a thriving life. Now, coming back to our myths, when you have comparisons, I will always say that you should also have gratitude. Uh, Even the smallest thing, being able to get up early in the morning and get another beautiful day should be a source of gratitude. I have seen happier people keeping a diary, and in that diary they write down what are the 3 things which they would like the show gratitude to, or maybe the person or the event or the spiritual masters. What are some of the things? Only 3 things. If I can write in my diary every day before going to sleep, that should make a very good practice for me. And having gratitude also allows you to pause, take a step back, and look at the situation you are in, and makes you extremely happy. So instead of comparison, try to develop gratitude, and you would be happier than what you were earlier. Instead of showing off, we always recommend that live for self, buy things to make you happy, not to show off. If I am happier with using a product, a car, I should definitely go and buy. Everybody cannot be a monk and say, okay, I will renounce everything and from tomorrow onwards I will not show off anything. What we are saying is that if you know, bring the locus of control from outside to inside and try to make your soul happier rather than trying to make somebody else jealous, and live for yourself when it comes to happiness, and don't try to show to the world that how good you are or how rich you are or how famous you are, because that does not makes sense, because that's not going to be forever. That is one. And second is your locus of control has gone out to somebody else. So that's the second thing. Instead of chasing superiority, I think I will always recommend chasing flow. Try to understand what you're good at, what your strengths are, what's your natural thoughts, feeling, and behavior. What is something which you enjoy doing? And whatever you enjoy doing, can we find more opportunity to do that? And money will definitely come. Okay, in the initial phase, you might not get a lot of money, but the satisfaction from what you're doing actually is also uncomparable to any money which can come in. I have seen that a lot of people, even highly paid, don't like their work, and because of this, they carry a lot of negativity and stress in their mind when they come to work, come to home also, and their persona, their irritation, their anxiety when it comes to home, they also harm the relationships which they have with their spouse or their kids. And in fact, it is wrong for everyone. And the root cause of this is that you are not doing what you love doing. You are doing something which is only paying you some money. So I think that's the third thing which we need to take care of. I spoke about the need to control others. I think we will talk about accepting things the way they are, and trying to find out what is in the locus of control for me. What are some of the things which I can change? If I define that, then I will make that change. And then if I've also defined that what are the things which I cannot change, then obviously whatever you do, it's not going to make a difference, right? So I am stuck in my house because of Corona's lockdown. Can I break the lockdown rules? Am I somebody who makes those SOPs in terms of what needs to be done? No. But do I have a control that when I'm inside my house, how I'm going to spend my time? I have seen a lot of people watching news channels, reading newspapers, and these news channels and newspapers are full of negative news. Our mind is always attracted towards negativity, and that's where if we consume more of negativity, we also start becoming negative, and we see the world in a way in which it is doomed and nothing good is happening. But that's not the thing. I think in our control, we can always say that some of the things which we can do is to surround ourselves with positive people, surround ourselves with positive news, surround ourselves with actions which makes a difference to somebody else, surround ourselves with content which really makes us feel better about ourselves and the world, rather than just sitting back and bemoaning that how bad the world has become, and you not doing anything about it. So I think acceptance brings a lot of happiness, and we should learn to cultivate this. And last but not the least, my thought process is also about being in present and appreciate little things. People talk about this element of finding faults. Can we make a habit that whomever we are meeting or talking or interacting with, I will write down at least 3 good things about that person. And the best still, if you can talk to that person and say, these are the 3 good things I noticed in you, you will see that relationship will change dramatically. I'm not saying that you should do it for the sake of doing it, or it should not look artificial. But if you do it with all your intent, and if you realize that what you are making, when you are making a comment, it is very genuine, and the other person can also is able to identify this, then you will see that relationship changes. And instead of trying to look at wrong things everywhere, can we look at the beautiful things around us, and be happy the privileges which we have got, which others might not have, or the things which we take for granted others might not have. People, I was just reminded by one of the incident of my friend who got corona and was admitted to an hospital and was on oxygen. So when he came out, he said, sir, we take oxygen for granted. Okay, I never thought that for me to breathe in, I need to pay X amount of money every day to buy cylinders and get that oxygen. Now, this realization that we are getting an abundant, quantity of oxygen to breathe in, and the nature is not charging us any money, is something we never thought of in our previous life. But maybe Corona has taught us that your ability to stand up and walk, your ability to breathe, your ability to eat food properly and with the taste and smell is all these things which might be small, but we need to appreciate this from bottom of our heart. So for me, happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. You need to work on it. It's not about it's not an adjective. It's a verb, and that's where Dale Carnegie says happiness does not depend on any external condition. It is governed by our mental attitude. You can put me in a very bad situation, but if you cannot, if you are not able to look things from a positive manner, even there, okay, then you will be surely be unhappy. And that's why we find some people, even if you put them in difficult situations, they come out very, very brightly and with a lot of energy. And at the same time, we have got another set of people who might have got everything what us desire as human being desire, but then at the core of heart they are still very unhappy. So I think that's where the this sentence of Dale Carnegie comes into picture, that it's not about anything which is happening around you, it's not about anything external, it's about your attitude, it's about how you look at things, it's about the glasses you are wearing which makes you happy or unhappy. So I think that's what I wanted to share with all of you. I will be very keen to answer your questions if you have any, or if you want to comment on anything, do that. From my side, this is what I wanted to share with all of you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think it was definitely a myth busting session. There are many things which we generally see in our society, that all those things have been very beautifully put in correct words by our speaker. And this session which sir has delivered, it very definitely tells that happiness is an option and it depends upon us if we choose it. And as they say that we become what we think. So what sir also pointed out very well, I hope everybody must have seen that. That is why we should have positive approach, because if we have a positive attitude, we will see the world positively, even though there are so many problems around us. So the positive approach is what makes the things easier for us, even in the difficult situations. Now, we have been joined by the regional directors and assistant regional directors of different regional centers. I request if any of the respected regional director and assistant regional director wishes to have interaction with sir, they may please unmute their mic. Thank you.
Let me start the interaction with Dr. Ambash. I'm Dr. Pankaj Khare, working as Director Planning with Indira Gandhi National Open University in Delhi. So this is my brief introduction. at this age, when I'm at the verge of retirement, Dr. Ambash, you have given a wonderful lecture about happiness, and lot many thought-provoking things were coming when while listening to you. And very first thing which came into my mind, I believe happiness is something which is internal and individualized. I may be corrected if I think I'm going into wrong direction. What satisfies me is a interrelation word with happiness. Satisfaction is at the core. Whatever work I perform, it probably brings me the happiness. Happiness is not materialistic. It's something which is lying within, and I believe somewhere that it is a comparative thing. I would like to listen to you, Dr. Ambash, if you highlight certain things regarding satisfaction, whether it is a work satisfaction or your own performance, whatever you are delivering or whatever you are doing, how it satisfies and how it is interrelated with the happiness. Thank you very much, and once again, I congratulate you for a wonderful, wonderful lecture. Over to you, Dr. Ambash.
Thank you, sir. First of all, my sincere gratitude for your kind words. And you are absolutely right that it's about individuals. Happiness is individual. And the reason why I quit my job, I was working with Aon Hewitt, which is one of the largest company in the world, with business worth $13 billion. I left that job because I found that they were not telling the employers that at the end of the day, you cannot make people happy. As employers, you can provide right environment, you can provide right support, but if I have decided not to be happy, then nothing can happen. So that's where I said we will start this company, and we have created an app, and this app is given to individual employees who in turn look at the app, and the app tells them that what you should do today to feel happier. If it is gratitude, then how you should pursue gratitude. So I think I completely agree with you. And for me, all people who are working, three-fourths of your waking hours you are at work. And now the work has come inside our living room and our bedroom. And if we are not liking what we are doing, then we are not only going to make ourselves unhappy, but we are also going to make the people who are staying with us very unhappy. So I completely am aligned with you, Dr. Khare, that the work, what you choose to do in life, and that's where, again, salute to professors and career counselors who advise people to choose a right career which they are going to pursue for next 30 years or 35 years of their life. And if you don't choose that rightly, you will have a life where you are struggling and not thriving. So I think that will be my point on work and relationship with happiness.
Thank you, Dr. Ambash. But it raises another question: is it happiness of self, or is it to make happy others? How to address this particular thing?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you left the company because others were not happy with you. But
Yes.
quite possible that you were happy when everybody was unhappy in that company.
Yes.
So that raises another question to me. I'm sorry that I'm barging on your time.
No, no, that's absolutely fine. So I will say if I am a doctor and I have to treat corona patients, I cannot be sick first. I have to take care of my own health first. So unless until I am healthy and I have experienced being happier, I cannot go ahead and start preaching it to others. So for me, taking self-care is very important, and you should learn the ways to be happier. But I can also tell you one thing, that people come to me and say, tell me one sure short way of being happier. And I always go and tell them that try to find one stranger and make them happy. You will automatically feel happier. So it's a very, very unique cyclic thing where your happiness is dependent on somebody else's happiness. At the same time, you cannot make others happy if you are not happy yourself. I think that's the way I will comment on this.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can I come in, Dr. Rao?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Swati Patra, please, madam.
Yeah, good afternoon, and it was really a wonderful session. Myself, Professor Swati Patra from the Discipline of Psychology here at Indira Gandhi National Open University. And it was a wonderful session, Dr. Ambasta. And as we're talking, I'll just like to, the last slide you're talking about that happiness is a mental attitude. That's really true. I would just, it is not a question actually, it is just an observation. I'd bring in the Viktor Frankl's quote that which he had said that like everything can be taken away from us, okay, but except one thing, that is the last of the freedom that we have.
Yes.
And that freedom is to choose our attitude. So as you have rightly said that this is the like happiness is it is an attitude. What we are choosing, the choice is on us actually. Okay, whatever we are choosing to, how do we want to see, the way we choose to see things, the perspective that we are taking. So that ultimately depends and decides our happiness, determines our happiness. So it is definitely the choice that we have, each one of us has, and we have to exercise that choice by choosing the right kind of activity, that intentional activity that you come up in the happiness formula given by Sonja. So that is definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, thanks very much for bringing that. I will also just add there that despite knowing this, why don't we choose? It's because we are always surrounded with negativity, negative news,
Yes.
negative people. Every day I open the newspaper, I see 90 things which have gone wrong. But the way I read newspaper only to find what is good happening around us. And
Yeah.
then I encourage people to do that. So if you can, when you see that even in a pandemic, there are people who are trying to do things differently, means that they have seen things differently. Their mental attitude was different. And I would like to learn from them rather than just following the herd where all negative things are being thrown on you. So I think that's the way I will look at it, Dr. Swati.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
I think Dr. Hina, you can also ask. I think you have typed in the chat box. I request Dr. Hina ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I
Good
audible?
afternoon. Your
Sir,
voice is little less. Yes, now I can
now
hear.
can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Sir, there is one question that many a times it happens that we always morning when we get up, we always are in a good mood, and later on as the day goes on, it proceeds. Many a times we feel very low, and when we see the people around us, they might be happy or they might not be happy, but we try to keep ourselves happy. But the situation is such that that happiness is vanishes within few hours, which I have experienced many a times. That morning when I get up, I am very happy sometimes. But as the day goes on, I don't know what happens, and that happiness vanishes. So, what can be the reason, sir?
Sure. First of all, let me congratulate you that you feel happier in the morning. There are a lot
Yeah,
of people who don't even feel happier in the morning
I
also.
always,
So
I
at least,
always thank God that morning I have got get up healthy without any tension. Every day I tell my children also that I'm very happy. They also feel in the same manner, but I don't know what happens later on how it vanishes.
so one of the things which can happen with people like you, if you don't have a direction or a compass in terms of where you are going, you may get lost in the way. So what it means is that when you get up in the morning, do you also make a plan for the day, that what you are going to achieve throughout the day? And if you can make your goals around the 6 dimensions I spoke about. And I said, I will share the slide with RC Mumbai. That do you have some goals about your physical fitness? Do you have some goals about your social fitness or spiritual fitness? Do you have some goals about your work, your relationships, and your meaningfulness? And if you pursue that, obviously you will not be distracted. Right now, it might be a case that you get up excited, but then your energy is being sucked here and there, and it's not directed towards a particular goal, which can make you happier, and that's why you may get lost in the world of negativity. So my suggestion would be, if you can make your days plan, or a week's plan in a manner in which gives you a sense of achievement, you will feel happier in the long term.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Really, I appreciate. And the very simple thing you told, definitely I will follow this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think Dr. G. Srinivas, you are saying something?
No, no, no queries, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm Dr. Vilas Naik Sahab. I'm Regional Director, Patna. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Actually, it is the philosophy that I believe in my life, because I never run after the things that other people run after. That's the reason why my children even sometimes don't like me. They say ki, you have to go after material pleasures because the world wants that. We need to have money, we need to have pleasures and other things. But I tell them that we should be happy, because happiness, if you are not happy and if you have other things, that they don't matter at all in life. So thank you so much, sir. And I think I would request Dr. Krishna Rao, RD Mumbai, to share the presentation of Professor Ambasta with all the RCs, because we will be putting this on our respective websites so that children get benefited. The young people need to be trained in this, because
Raviji.
they all chase after chase happiness, the so-called pleasure and material success, and they should be trained not to run after those things, so that they live happy life and our future is happy. Thank you very much, sir, again for this wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. We will share this PPT with all the regional centers, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank you for
thank
your suggestion also.
you, namaskar.
In fact, there is a correlation between age and happiness. So when you are 18-year-old, you are the happiest. When you start going up, by age of 40, 45, the happiness level is the lowest. And then it is still starts increasing once again. So by the age of 60, 65, you again become very happier. So it's like a V curve. And obviously, younger generation, the students needs to be taught that how they should choose their career which gives them happiness, and how they should have this correlation between money and happiness earlier in life rather than realizing at the age of 50 years or 60 years. So I think I am extremely delighted if this message can reach out to millions of students.
Thank
Yes,
you, sir. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ambash, may I just speak?
Yes, absolutely.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Kamishri Murthy. I'm the IGNOU Regional Director in Panaji, Goa.
Okay.
And I want to give you full compliments for such a wonderful session.
Thank you.
In
Thank
fact,
you.
this has been so informative, such a learning experience. We always keep hearing about people saying happiness is a choice and happiness is up to you and happiness is in your hand and so on. But the way in which you've shown it is so fantastic that I completely share my colleague Adi Patna's views that if you can give it to us, we would like to share it with our students, and not just students. I mean, why do we presume that only students are trying to show off or only students are not happy? It applies to each one of us. This is something that each one of us can learn. Like my colleague Dr. Khare says that he's going to be retiring soon. Well, so am I. But it's not just as a youngster. I think even at my age, I too need to know how to be happy for the remaining years of my life. And I'm very thankful to you. And my heartiest compliments to RD Mumbai for organizing this. Thank you.
Thank you. You make me very happy, Kameshwari.
thank you, madam.
Yeah,
So it's a win-win situation then.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we are having so many senior regional directors in this meeting. I request any regional director or the faculty want to ask the questions or interaction, please.
Sir, I am Dr. Rita Devi from School of Health Sciences, Indira Gandhi National Open University, and I really appreciate the lecture which has been taken in such a nice manner. You have explained very well. And as a teacher, yesterday I got a phone call from one of the student, and she told, Madam, 2 years before I came to you, and you motivated me, you appreciated me that you must complete my studies, and she could complete now. And one day before she messaged me, and yesterday she rang me up because she was so happy that I could make her motivate and complete her degree. So that happiness, student was also happy, and I
Yeah.
got also very happy that at least student had given me this feedback. And this is really appreciable that we should find happiness in small small things, whether it has a meaning or not, but these things have lot of meaning to one or the other person. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rita. And that's why I started my session by saying that I have huge respect for teachers. I have huge respect for academicians because they are the ones who shape. Right now, I am sitting in front of you. It's because of my teachers. And unfortunately, teachers don't think like this. So they believe that it's their job, and another batch has come, and they have to go through all the process, and they are not very happy teaching. But the moment they change their lens, that they are the one who are like gardeners. Gardeners are sowing the seeds, and the seed will become a large tree later on. If they start thinking like this, the world will be a different place. And I think, Dr. Rita, even one person, if you have made a difference in the lives of others, that happiness will be permanent for you. A new watch, a new car, or a new house, the happiness coming from there will disappear. But the happiness of the comment of your students coming back and saying that you have made a difference to me will remain there with you all the time. So I can
Yes,
fully appreciate with you because I also am a teacher,
yes,
and
yes.
whenever a student comes to me, I really get excited.
Yes, sir. We have to be sensitive towards the feeling of our learners, and it is very important, very important. As a teacher, I always take, my student very seriously, and try to, help them in whatever way I can do. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Uh, Thank you to all. Uh, as all the participants have interacted with our speaker, I now request our regional director, Dr. E. Krishna Rao sir, for his final remarks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Today we have listened a wonderful lecture delivered by Dr. Ashish. I am very happy to have you, sir, particularly uh, today in the participant list, our senior regional directors, assistant regional directors, and school faculty, those who are dealing with thousands of the students every day. It is really, I feel very happy, and also I felt the objective of organizing this important lecture has been fulfilled, and this is going to add value to the everyone's knowledge, and also it will help them, those who are unhappy and also unable to get to the real meaning of the happiness. They might have got the real meaning of the happiness, and you made it very clear. It requires in the human life where we have to lead our life happily by knowing the meaning of the real happiness, that we are in the midst, as you told, we are unable to understand what is the real happiness. That's why our life, under the pressure, under the tensions, we are unable to really enjoy whatever it is the happiness. But I hope you were really, I enjoyed a lot with your lecture. We will have the further collaboration with you, sir. Definitely in the future, we will organize more lectures with you for the benefit of our fraternity, where this type of the lectures particularly need in this critical situation, where make our mind stable and strong to combat with this type of the critical situation, particularly in this COVID-19 time, where it make the human psychologically strong and all the time make the human happy. By listening your lecture, really I felt happy, and also I am very thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor directing all the regional centers to organize this type of the lectures to motivate our IGNOU fraternity as well as the students to face this critical situation particularly, and really it is a very good lecture, and also I am happy with the participants where we have the well experienced regional directors and the well experienced faculty presented, and having very good speaker. I think the getting the Dr. Ashish time also is not that much easy, where he has delivered a good number of lectures on the national and international platforms, and he used to motivate. He is specialized in this particularly field of the happiness and well-being. This is his profession, where he is making the people to understand real meaning of the happiness and run their life happily. Sir, once again, I am very thankful to you, sir, on behalf of Regional Centre Mumbai as well as IGNOU. On behalf of the IGNOU, I am very thankful to you for spending and sparing your valuable time and interacting with our fraternity and making them to understand and giving wonderful lectures, sir. Thank you once again to all the my IGNOU fraternity and Dr. Ashish for such a wonderful, meaningful, and useful lecture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
and look forward to interacting with you in future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now proceeding towards the end of this webinar, may I now request Dr. Hina Wadhwani, madam, for vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to one and all. We are at the page end of this webinar. I, Dr. Hina Wadhwani, Assistant Coordinator and Academic Counselor of 4905, on behalf of RC Mumbai, I propose a formal vote of thanks at this wonderful webinar on 5 myths of happiness organized by IGNOU Regional Centre Mumbai. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Krishna Rao sir for organizing such a useful, informative and worthful webinar which is need of ours. I extend my gratitude to Ashish sir, happiness expert, for making us aware about the happiness in life. Very well, sir, highlighted the myths of happiness and the facts which we have to follow. Even, sir, you very well, with the help of statistics made us aware about the happiness quotient, thriving life. Then even you pointed out that how happy people are more productive, creative, helpful. And you said that the mindset set is must for happiness. Sharing the happiness formula was also very well dealt by you. And even you appreciated we all teachers. So thank you, sir, for appreciating the efforts which are taken by teachers. And sir, I like one important point I want to highlight here, the taps of happiness which you shared with us. Definitely this we will be following in life. And one important thing which you said, that forgiveness is the way to happiness. And everyone, if they are following in life, nobody will be unhappy. I also extend, so thank you, sir, once again for all the things. And it was wonderful session. I extend my thanks to headquarters, regional center of other states across the country, directors of other divisions, staff of various schools, faculty, regional director, assistant regional director of various regional centers across the country, study center coordinators, assistant coordinators, academic counselors, LSC of various study centers of different RCs, IGNOU across the country. I extend my special gratitude to support system of RC Mumbai. Thanks to all the participants and thank you, sir, for your polite words, pearls of wisdom which you have shared with us. Thanks to one and all for making this webinar a great success. In the end, I would like to conclude like happiness is a feeling which depends upon mindset and it comes from our own action. And I feel that if everyone follows this, then nobody will be unhappy. Everybody will be happy in any kind of situation. And I thanks to RC Mumbai for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts and for proposing vote of thanks. Thanks to one and all. Thanks.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, sir, with your permission, we will close the session.
Yes, you can close. And special thanks to Dr. Malavika also for this one. Thank you, one and all. Yeah, you can
Thank you,
close
sir.
the
Thank you,
meeting.
sir. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir.